I'm out here on the patio with Miss Triniti. How are you doing?
All right.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me out here. So this is where we're outside of the studio,
right,
where you do some of your recording.
Yeah, the System Music Productions is here. They produce like 5 or 6 songs on my album, both albums actually.
Okay.
So we're like a real tight unit here.
Okay, and you've been out. This is West Hollywood.
Yeah, this is Santa Monica and Crescent Heights. So yeah, West Hollywood.
It's a beautiful day too today. Got a good day. So tell me, I want to know, like, I actually got hip to your music from MySpace. MySpace is crazy.
So you love it.
How many friends like do you have on there right now?
I think about 17,000. I could have more because I've seen some artists with like 80,000 friends.
Crazy,
but
yeah.
I don't try to, like, if they come to me then that's cool.
Right.
Because I don't want a whole bunch of friends that aren't really fans.
Did you trip out off of that? Like MySpace getting 17,000 friends? Like.
Yeah, totally. Definitely. When people hit me up, I'm always like, how did they find me? But it's cool because it's clearly a music page, so somebody friend requests you is usually because they're into what you're doing.
And you market yourself very well.
Thank you. I
do.
try.
You have your pictures up, you know, your pictures are right. I see your wristband
Right.
right here. That's hot. Miss Trinity, you designed that?
Well, the logo is my logo, but this wristband was actually made by my label in Japan.
Okay.
So
I saw the logo. How did you get like the logo?
How did the logo come about? Actually, one of my best friends designed it. Her name's Ariel, and we tried to come up with something that looked cool but spelled my name. And if you look really closely, I can explain it to you, but it does actually spell my initials and my name.
Ah, that's tight. And you just kind of made it the stamp like that.
Right, and that's the stamp, and that goes on everything.
That's
Triniti does. If I ever come out with a clothing line, I guess that will be mine.
This will be the Miss Triniti clothing
Yeah.
line. The logo, the stamp.
Definitely.
The stamp. So now you grew up in the UK.
Yep.
Your father's
From
Trinidad.
My mother's American.
Okay.
They met in England. He didn't want to go back to America. She didn't want to go back to Trinidad. So they stayed in England, and I was born there, but I was back and forth to Trinidad as a child. Like, I went there when I was a baby, actually. This is a Caribbean. This is like anyone from the Caribbean. If you have one of these, you're like, you must be from the island.
My mom got one.
Yeah. So back and forth as a baby up until I was like, we've been there, I think, about 25 times growing up every year.
Oh, okay.
And so spending so much time in Trinidad kind of like set my the type of music that I was listening to and the type of music I'm making. It kind of infiltrated into what I'm doing.
Oh, so then coming to America, was that like a different?
Well, it wasn't as different as you might think, because back in England, actually most of the world, we see so much of America, whether it's through TV, music, or, you know, Donald's, whatever it may be. Like, your culture has infiltrated itself into like so much of the world. So coming over here wasn't like a culture shock or anything. Plus my mother's American, and I originally came over here to play tennis. And I went to San Diego State to college and played tennis on a tennis scholarship.
Did you play in like high school?
No. When I was growing up, like, it was serious from day. Like, my dad taught me and my sister to play tennis. He taught me from the age of 3. So I was playing tournaments by the time I was like 7. I played a tournament. And then I was like playing for my country, doing internationals. So it wasn't really about high school, it was more just like serious.
Yeah, this is tennis.
Yeah. So I'll be playing nationals and then junior Wimbledon and stuff like that. But then I actually ended up getting a wrist injury, which meant that I couldn't pursue it professionally anymore. But then I got a scholarship over here, and I was still injured actually, but they brought me over anyway. And, you know, playing professionally or playing for college, I didn't have to like push myself as hard. So I managed to get through my 4 years and play over here. But that's how I ended up coming. And it was quite an easy transition, because when you come and you go to college, you're on a tennis team, you've already got your family, got your coach and your friends already set up. So I came by myself, but it didn't feel like I was by myself.
Okay. And did your mom have family out here?
Well, she's got family, but they're all on the East Coast.
Okay.
So I didn't have anybody, it was just me.
And you have an album already that's been recorded. You're going on to your second album now.
Actually, I'm going on to my third now.
Okay.
2 albums have been recorded and released, but only in Japan.
Okay. How did that come about?
Well, it's a funny story because I had a record deal in 2004 with Sony Columbia, and they didn't release my record, and then I got dropped off the label. Typical, story, you've heard it a million times. But at that point, I just decided to print up some of my own albums, and just really to sell them at shows. And I had them available on the internet, but it wasn't like I was probably selling just a few here and there, whatever. But I just wanted to have them. So out of the blue, this trading company from Japan, they contacted me and they said, we want to buy 200 copies of your album. Can we buy 200 copies? And I was like, yeah, all right. So cut a long story short.
So that was independently now. You were just getting the 200 done up and
just like one-page booklet. That was it. So cut a long story short, that led to them. I was actually signed to a production company at the time, and then between us, they ended up selling about, I think, 10,000 of the independent release. Then Toshiba EMI came on board, and because they saw the buzz that was going on, and so they signed me, and then we did a domestic release as well. So it was really just a grassroots buzz. I don't really know how it started, but
congrats,
I'm
that's
happy
really
about it.
big, yeah. Did you get to go out to Japan?
I've been out there like 6 times now. Went out there for the promo, for the album release, for a couple of tours. Actually went on tour to support Sean Paul one time in Japan as well. So yeah, I love it there, it's wicked.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
What do you love, what's your thing? Would you rather get in the studio, make a song, or be on stage? You could pick.
That's a good question. You know what, it's kind of like, it's a totally different vibe. When you're on stage, it's so hyped, and you're like in your zone, like an athlete in your zone. But it's a different zone when you're in the studio, but when you're being creative, you can get into your own little zone. It's just more of a calm zone. I love all of it. Like, I couldn't be doing anything else that would make me this happy.
That's hot.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing, too.
Yeah.
What is it that, like, when you write, you sit down, is it something that...
It depends completely on the type of track, because dancehall, just as a sound, it's about having fun. It's about, partying, being in the club. So of course I'm gonna write those kind of tracks, which those are fun. They're not as deep necessarily, but it's more about riding the rhythm and just feeling good. And then I do on my album, I have some more, because I call the album Ragga Hop. It's reggae based, but it mixed with hip hop and R&B. So
what is it?
I call it Ragga Hop.
Ragga Hop.
Because it's a blend up of stuff. So that gives me an opportunity to write more about, deeper things.
Yeah.
Well, like some of the roots reggae stuff that I've done, I've tried to be a little bit more conscious and sing about more conscious stuff. And then, the love songs, you can dig for some emotion that you felt sometime in your life.
What's some of your inspirations?
So many people.
A couple that really like
obviously people like Bob Marley, people like, but that's in the reggae scene, or in the R&B and hip hop. I was listening to Eric B. and Rakim, I was listening to De La Soul and NWA, and then R&B, I was listening to Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Anita Baker, Stevie Wonder and Prince are my legends. I love them both. So yeah, the span of what I've been listening to is quite big.
Was it like drum and bass also?
There was a lot of drum and bass going on in England, but to be honest, I never got into the drum and bass. I was more into the reggae